Welcome to another episode of London Oven, where I take traditional British recipes and remake them in my US kitchen using US ingredients. Today, I'm going to show you how to make these beauties, hot cross buns, an absolute favorite at Easter time, absolutely delicious hot from the oven. You can have these toasted with jam, with butter, or just by themselves. They're absolutely gorgeous. Everybody eats them at Easter time in the UK, and I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful things at home. So let's get going. So let's do a quick run through of our ingredients. I've got 4 cups of bread flour, 1 egg, which I'll beat later, 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar, mission critical ingredient, our fast acting yeast. I've got 1 orange and I'll just use the rind. For spices, I'm using 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. For our liquid, I have 300 ml of milk. And for my dried fruit, I'm using a mixture of dried blueberries and dried cherries. Sultanas are traditional, but they're really difficult to get in the US. Raisins are a really good alternative, or you can use any dried fruit you like, as long as you keep to the same amount, which is 250 grams. Let's crack on. Now my cake mix is finishing all the hard work. I'm going to transfer my dough into an oiled bowl, cover it in cling film, and leave it to rise somewhere nice and warm like the pantry for about 90 minutes. Let's go. Okay, so this is our bun mixture after the second proof. Let's see what's happening. Hope you guys can see this on camera. It has definitely doubled in size. So the next step is to roll these into 12 individual balls, and then we're gonna prove it for the 3rd and final time, and then we can get these bad boys in the oven. Okay, so let's roll out our 12 buns. I'm gonna tip this out here. Like so. Then we just want to form dough again, and then we want to make these as even as possible so they all bake at the same time. If you want to be really particular, you can weigh these. I am not that fussy, so we're going to have to eyeball it. Okay. Alright, so that's what you get for eyeballing it. Let's cut these up. Right now, because these look a little bit bigger. And if they're not even sized, then they won't cook at the same time. Okay, so now we've got that figured out. Touch more flour. And then we're going to roll these into balls. This is what it looks like when it's all balled up and ready. We have a dozen buns. I'm now going to wrap it and let it proof for the 3rd and final time. An hour should be just about enough. So let's look at it again in about an hour. So this is what your buns should look like after the 3rd and final proof. You can see they've risen and filled up the whole tray. So the next step is just to use, I've got this flour and water in a paste. I'm going to use this to make the signature cross, to make them hot cross buns. After that, pop in the oven, 350 for about 15 minutes, and then we'll add the glaze and they should be ready to eat. Look at these beauties, they are perfect and ready to go in the oven. Hello and welcome to another episode of London Oven. If you're enjoying these recipes, you can now have them at home to keep in the London Oven cookbook. Now available to buy on my website. I hope you enjoy. londonoven.com. So I've just taken the hot cross buns out the oven. I'm going to glaze with apple jelly as a substitute for apricot jam. You just want to heat this up for about 30 seconds in the microwave, and then we're just going to brush the buns with our glaze, which is how it gets that lovely sheen. You want to glaze while they're still relatively warm to get the best effect. But yeah, these have turned out absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to have one with a cup of tea.